Hello, what's up good people? Good to see you once again. Anyway, tulisema lazima tuchanuane na story ni kuchanuana hapa hivi. So, today we're gonna talk about ukiinvest 100,000. Tuseme uende uzieke kwa bank in a fixed deposit account or uzieke kwa money market fund. So between the two, ni gani itakutengenezea pesa mob na ni gani better to actually go ahead and do something? Because I always say you put your money where your mouth is. Kuna kitu inaitangwa the compounding effect ikifika kwa wealth, na hiyo inakwanga sana, na hiyo ndo the secret about the majority of those wealthy people who unawaona, they know it but the others do not know. Leo nazungumzia between money market fund, ukichukua 100k weke kwa money market fund or you put it in a fixed deposit account. So which one actually earns you more, and that's gonna talk about today. But before we do that, as always, take 1 second up before chini, click that button written subscribe, and guess what, it is free and it's fast. Then up before chini kuna kengine kamechora mkono like this, just hit it, that's a like, and guess what you've just done. Any moment I'll be uploading a good video from a good Joseph channel, you'll be notified by the YouTube. All right, so let's get to this business. So between money market fund, okay, if you do not know what a money market fund, I have been covering that video. You can just go ahead and watch any other of my videos down there and you get to see all what it means by money market fund. All right, so nimesema hivi, kwa wealth kuna kitu naitangwa compounding effect of wealth. What do I mean? Let's take an example. Uchukue the 100k uweke kwa money market fund. All right, so what you get at the end of the year, that is what you call the interest. Take an example, that fund manager gives you a 8%. Actually, that's quite low, but they usually give 8 to 10%. But let's take 8% for the sake of our explanation, all right? So they give you 8% of the principal amount that you have invested. So at the end of the year, you get 8% of that. 8% of 100,000 is 8,000, of course. So now the amount that you have at the end of the year, it is 108,000. Of course, the government is there and needs something out of it, so they need 15% of what you've earned as your interest. So it is 15% of 8,000. That's around 1,200. All right. So you are remaining with 6,800. So what you've accumulated at the end of the year is 106,800 Kenyan shillings. Now this is where the magic starts. All right. I told you there's something called the compounding effect of your wealth. All right, or your money. Now what happens to the next subsequent or the following year? Now the interest of 8% that you will get, if it was to remain constant, sometimes it is grows. All right, so if you were to get the same 8%, now it becomes 8% of 106,800. So it's no longer the 8% of the 100,000 that you did put initially when you're starting the year. All right, so now the subsequent year, what happened is that you'll get around, ukitoa tax and whatever, you get around 7,200 and something of sort. All right, so if you add to that, now you'll get 114 on top of, or 114,000 and blah blah blah, such kind of things. You can just go ahead and do the mathematics. What I've just said is this: once you put your 100,000 at the end, or rather as your principal amount, at the end of the year you get 8% of it. All right, the 8% of it, of course, minus the the tax and what have you, you remain with 6,800. So it's 106,800. All right, now the following year it is 8% of 106,800. It's not 8% of 100,000 initially, so meaning you're gonna get more. And if you plow back that cash back to the money market fund, you now get 100, or rather 8% of 114,000 and some few coins out there. So there's something that you're gonna see out there. It goes and it multiplies, or rather there's something called the compounding effect of your cash. Unlike when you put in a bank, if you put your money in a fixed deposit, usually called the FDS, if they give you 7%, then it's 7% of what you did put in that specific bank. If you put that 100,000 in a bank, then it will be 7% of that 100,000. So if you go to the next year, it is still 7% of 100,000. Even if you put that money in the next 10 years, it's still 100 or 7% of 100,000. So that tells you that in money market fund, there are chances of you compounding money. There is a compounding effect compared to that in a conventional bank or a commercial bank. So I would say this: I always tell you guys, put your money where your mouth is. And because if you do not understand the two principles of the compounding effect when it comes to money, because there is something, when it comes to wealth, I always say it's not an event, it's a process. It takes time. You grow yourself to the next level. And guess what? This money, you can actually access it any moment you want. That means you can actually go ahead and withdraw your cash if you want to, invest it in what we call the, the conventional way of investing your money or something of sort. Actually, this business is actually, or rather this investment is befitting for those guys who are outside the country and those people who are in diaspora, and maybe they've decided to go out there and work for the next 5 years, and then once they come back home they can invest their businesses. So It's a good way you can actually remit you cash into that specific money market fund of your choice. I'm not gonna make a choice for you, so it's for you to go ahead and choose any money market fund you would like, or fund manager you would like to get started with, and then from there you'll be remitting your cash, and then after that period of time, then you can come back home, withdraw your cash, now invest it where you would love to invest your money. And by the way, those services are actually found online. You can access them online. You don't have to be here physically. Nowadays things have been, made simpler for you. You can just remit your cash through the SendWave, a variety of places, or rather variety of options that those fund managers, they have actually given out for you to be able to go ahead and invest. All right, the reason as to why I decided to cover these topics, because I've been getting questions each and every moment, like, okay, well, Joseph, make a video between putting your money in a FDS and a money market fund, which one is better, and such kind of information. So there you have it. Now it's about you to make decision and get to ask yourself, now which one among those two I'm gonna choose and go for. And you know what, guys, I always post videos about that and where you're supposed to put your money, because I always say, put your money where your mouth is, or your mouth where your money is. Whichever is easier for you, just move it. But provided at the end of the day, you'll be on the winning side. All right? Perhaps you feel like I've left something like you need to be clarified or something of sort. Guess what? I'm always open to calls. I get my number. My number is up on the description box. You can get more information about it. Or if you'd like to get a booklet about all the information about the money market fund, I've prepared it. It's ready for you. You can get your copy, consume all the information, and then from there, you get started, because that's it. Don't wait. You invest and wait. You don't wait and invest. No, that's how it goes. All right. I'll still pin my number on the comment section. Still pin my number is still found on the description of this specific video. All right. And if you'd like to get any other booklets, I have them. Business ideas, business plans, and what have you. All of them, even the shares are available. You can contact me using the same number. You get the information. Hey, guess what? Stick around. Guess next one I'm gonna talk about shares. I'm going to talk about treasury bills and treasury bonds, which one's actually better, and for you to get started. For now, it's a goodbye, and make sure you subscribe. You like the video, comment down below, tell me what you think, because I'm a believer, just like an iron sharpens another iron, so do we learn from each other. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.